Hello everybody, I'm GameStar522 and welcome back to more Megaman 03. In the last video we took down Tank, and now we have only one more Maverick to go after. And that is the sunken library guarded by Voltiel Biblio. The ruins of an ancient library have been found. It's completely soaked inside, but there may still be some data around. We'd like you to search for data on Weil or Omega. Alright. You know what they say, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. First, please go to the data room. The data has the highest probability of containing information about Weil and Omega. Alright. This is probably like the shortest of these last stages. You do want to be careful though, because this is a hazard-ridden level. Basically, the water tide will go up and down. And oh yeah, we need to change the recoil rod and ice. And when the tide goes all the way up to the top, then it will electrify, because later in the level there are electric cables that's touching the water when it raises. If you hit these turtle things, it actually causes them to flip upside down, so we can safely jump on them and not get electrocuted. Now, the electrocuted water doesn't kill you instantly, but it does do a fuck ton of damage. So we just kind of want to take our time here. Alright. Now we don't want to leave yet. There is a box right there with another disc. Alright, wait. We have another disc over here to grab. And also the discs on this level are probably the easiest to grab. Okay, I'm gonna get hit. Ow. But yeah, see, that's how much damage you take from the electrified water. And then we have another disc up here, and that's actually all the discs that we have to collect ourselves. This is the data room. Please search for information on Weil on that console. After searching, the data's location will be displayed. Please go to that area and recover the data. 4 matches. Weil, Omega, Dark Elves, Elf Wars. So basically what happens here is that we look at the information and we have to find the door. But the door is surrounded by other doors to help give us a clue. Now, let me see. The way I remember it is I tried making a pattern out of some of the door colors and just trying to like go off of that. So I guess here, if I look at only the blue doors, I kind of see a backwards J that kind of loops into a yellow, so I'll remember that. Now for Omega's door. Okay, so it's literally in the center of a... like, 2 lines of a... like, the yellow doors kind of make a square, like 2 lines of a square, so it's in the center of that. The Dark Elf. Now okay, so this one is in the center of 5 blue doors. They form a square towards the bottom left, but there's 1 blue door up on top of it, surrounded by a line of yellow. And then the Elf Wars door is basically basically the L Tetris piece, but in the center of yellow with blue on the sides. Okay. So let's get going. Now, if you guess the wrong doors, it will actually subtract from your rank score. So you want to try and get the doors correctly every time. Now, keep in mind, though, whenever you do this mission, the location that the doors you have to go inside of are random every single time. So you're not going to get the same order every single time. Alright, so we remember one piece of data being in here. Dark Elf data. File number 35184848. Dark Elf. Officially known as the Mother Elf. Creator unknown. This cyber elf was originally created for the purpose of restoring Maverick programs to their original state, but the Mother Elf was altered by Dr. Weil so she could be used to manipulate Reploids by freely rewriting programs. Although the organized fighting of the Reploids manipulated by the altered Mother Elf did end the wars, this terrible power was sealed off to prevent misuse. So the Dark Elf, what's going on? If we can analyze this data, we might be able to find out something new about her. Alright. So I remember seeing one door like that. Now, I remember an L shape with a line of blue on the left side. Elf Wars data. File 945388, Elf Wars. End of the wars, cyber-elves used from this. Elf Wars, the use, Dark Elf, and copies amplified the power while at will. The worst in the war and approximately 90% wiped. 0. It looks like that data is corrupt. I think we may be able to repair it at the base. Thank you, 0. Alright. Now, let's see if we can look here. Alright, I see a square of yellow, so that means this one might be the next one. Alright. You got Omega's data. File number 815156. Omega. The ultimate Reploid created by Dr. Weil. Possesses incredible power when combined with the Dark Elf. Banished to outer space to avoid another Elf War. If we can analyze this data, we might be able to find out something new about Omega. Okay. Now then. The last door, I believe, is... Let's see. Right here, there's the blue backwards J with that curve into a yellow. I should probably go ahead and switch to Shield Boomerang now. Wiles data. File number 650326. Dr. Weil. From Neo Arcadia. Creator of Omega. Altered the Mother Elf, sparking the Elf Wars. Banished from Neo Arcadia after the Elf Wars. If we can analyze this data, we may be able to find some new information about Weil. Who dares intrude upon my territory? 0? So it's you. I am Voltil Biblio of Wiles Numbers. What is that you've got there? Give that data back. Now! Now it's time for us to fight Biblio. He is weak to the ice element. And what he'll do is he'll stick his head out of the holes in the wall. And that's the point where we can attack him. Of course, he shoots out lightning balls that slowly track us. So we just kind of have to be smart of how we move. But of course, they do dissipate over time. Of course, when he's going between holes, you can't touch him to get hurt. Now, when he's here, he'll try to shock all the walls, the ceiling, and the floor, in which you kind of have to like stall your jump underwater in order to avoid getting hit by it. I'll let him do it again. Like so. And that's that. What's up with you? You're opposing Lord Weil? Aren't you afraid of him? You You're crazy! Ah! Let's hear that. We get the Shadow Dash foot chip. But yeah, there were really only 6 discs for us to find because the remaining 4 were part of the mission. Alright. Cyber-elf Kawapa. Cyber-elf Mulag. Cyber-elf Tirif. I think that's how you pronounce that. Cyber-elf Awarne. And 100 E-crystals. And that's that. Zero, thank you. I'm analyzing all of the data you recovered for us. We may be able to figure out what Weil is attempting to do by analyzing past data. I'll do my best. And there, we've just finished inputting the data recovered so far. Now, to begin the analysis. Thanks to Zero, we've collected much information. It will take time to analyze the data, so for now, I'll save our data. Not yet. Okay, but please don't overdo it. Oh yes, that reminds me. Servo told me that Harpuia's condition has improved a lot. Why don't you go pay your respects? Can you stand up already? Wow, Harpuia, you're hard to keep down. What are you up to? Why did you rescue me? Do you expect some favor in return? Perhaps. Oh, you're awake. How do you feel? Horrible. Just the thought of being helped by you makes me nauseous. Stripped of my position and driven out of Neo Arcadia, I'm used goods. That's not true. You just stood up for your beliefs, just like we do. You've made no mistakes. My beliefs. I can't sit back any longer. We must protect the humans from Weil. We have to stop him immediately. That Weil! Wait! Your wounds are not fully healed yet. I am a warrior, born to protect humans. I am a proud warrior of Neo Arcadia. I don't need any help. Even if my body should fall into ruin, I will still gladly fight for humanity. So, Harpuia refuses to go with us. Mr. Zero, come to the commander's room immediately. They sure run you ragged, don't they, Zero? I'll be back later. Zero, Harpuia, don't you dare die. Alright. Let's talk to Seal. Zero, I'm sorry. You gathered a lot of information for us, but we still do not know where Weil is. But we have figured out what he might be attempting to do. Before we talk about Weil, I'll open up the data file for the Elf Wars that you found. File number 945388, Elf Wars. Near the end of the Maverick Wars, many cyber-elves were used. The period from this time until the end of the fighting was referred to as the Elf Wars as a result. In particular, the use of the gigantic elf known as the Dark Elf and copies of this elf known as Baby Elves to amplify the power of Reploids while controlling said Reploids at will made this the worst war in recorded history. While use of the Dark Elf brought the war to an end in 4 years, approximately 90% of all Reploids and 60% of all humans were wiped out. The technology used at this time, the technology of using baby elves to control Reploids, this must be what Weil was attempting to use again. I'm sure that what Zero saw of the Dark Elf copy factory was machinery prepared for just this purpose. Excellent detective work. Dr. Seal. What? Unfortunately, you were a little too late. Is that Dr. Weil? This time, Omega is absolutely perfect. I can now manipulate all of the Reploids on the planet without using the baby elves, and make them do whatever I want. Time to start, Omega. Now you will see, pitiful humans, what you get for banishing Dr. Weil. Taste the fear, foolish Reploids who banished me. Inscribe my name upon this world, the name of your new ruler. That name is Dr. Weil. The entire world is in my hands. I have the power to crush it between my fingers at any time. No. This can't be happening. A new world, a new order. History is once again in motion. Sail back! Zero? Inscribe it upon the world, the name of our ruler. Weil. Both of you, freeze! It's okay. They're just unconscious. All I did was disable the power of the Dark Elf, but my current power can only protect those at this base. Took you long enough, X. Where's Weil? In Neo-Arcadia's underground power system. Sub-Arcadia. Omega is there too, transmitting the power of the Dark Elf around the world. Apparently. X and I are the only ones who can move around freely. X, tell us the coordinates for Sub-Arcadia. So you plan on fighting against Omega? Yes. Why? Nothing. I'm sure you'll be fine. Be careful, Zero. I've verified the coordinates for Sub-Arcadia on the transfer device. Transfer me. Roger. All personnel prepare for transfer. Preparations for transfer complete. Transfer. Zero. Come back safely.